What's up, sports bettors? I'm going to be taking you through a parlay for today. And it always annoys me. I'm going to break down parlay math, parlay odds, how parlays work in this video. It always annoys me because people will say, oh, you can't make money betting on parlays. And the truth is that's completely wrong. Like, we're literally going to go through the math behind how parlays work. And you can see I use this verified bet tracker called Pickett Sports. Is my parlay results. I've been on a bit of a down stretch recently, but I'm up $31,000 in 2023. You absolutely can make money betting on parlays. You just need to understand the math behind parlays. And that's what we're going to explain in this video. So ultimately, it boils down, making money betting on parlays boils down, unsurprisingly, to finding profitable bets, right? So I'll include this presentation about parlays, how parlays work. I'll include this in the description as well as a spreadsheet breaking down the math and my email so you can reach out with any questions. But making money betting on parlays, it boils down to, can you find profitable bets? And the truth is, 99.9% of sports bettors can't beat the books long term. So if they can't win on straight bets, if you can't win on straight bets, then you're not going to be able to win on parlays, right? Parlays are just bets that require at least 2 picks to win. So anyways, what you're going to notice is the first player prop I'm on is from the OddsJam Positive EV tool. So this tool is really simple, right? Every sports book, they all try to set lines independently. They all think they're so smart. They try to set lines independently. And that kind of makes sense, right? If every sports book had the exact same odds, then we wouldn't need the hundreds of them that there are, right? But what you're going to see is for AD over 24.5 points, Fliff is the only sports book with the under favored, right? You're going to see Fliff, they have lines juiced towards the under. Every other sports book is a data point. I say this, you need to internalize it if you want to make money sports betting. Every bookmaker is a data point, right, on where the line should be set. So you're going to see Pinnacle, which is known to be the sharpest sports book in the world. They have ADs over favored at minus 128. FanDuel has the over favored. Caesars, DraftKings, all these books, Bet Online, they all have ADs over pretty heavily favored around like minus 130, minus 135. And we're getting minus 110 on Fliff. So this is a play with value. The bet in green and in bold is profitable on OddsJam. And we'll get into the math here kind of in a sec. But if you just want to find profitable parlay picks, input the sports books you use to OddsJam. I'm currently in California, so I don't have a ton of sports books available to me. But you're going to see the first play that I want to be on is AD over 24.5 points at minus 110 odds. So what we need to do, right, is figure out what is the win probability for this bet, right? What is the probability that AD goes over 24.5? And a lot of people will be like, oh, you can't get an answer to that question. And there's actually a very straightforward way to get an answer to that question. So if you look at the Lakers money line, right, they're around, minus 240, I guess, on the sports books. But just assume the Lakers were minus 200 and the Nuggets were plus 200. So minus 200, right, if the Lakers are minus 200, they're the favored team at home, and the Nuggets were plus 200, the Lakers are 2-1 betting favorites. The market, right, is pricing the Lakers as 2-1 betting favorites, 2/3 to win the game, 66.67% to win the game, right? 2/3 to win, 66.67% to win. 2-1 betting favorites. That's what minus 200 means. The Nuggets would be 2-1 underdogs, 1/3 to win, 33.33%. If the Lakers were minus 400, right, they'd be 4-1 favorites, 4/5 to win, 80% to win. So the market, right, and a lot of people will be like, well, why do you believe markets, right? And the answer is pretty simple. If every sports book, let's say, had the Lakers at minus 200 and the Nuggets at plus 200 and the Lakers were 2-1 betting favorites, it's pretty simple. If the Lakers are more than 2/3 to win the game, every sharp bettor, every syndicate, every sports betting hedge fund would hammer the Lakers until the line moved. And you're going to notice lines moved. Lines have been ripping towards the Lakers. So you're going to see sportsbooks actually opened the Lakers around minus 158 on the money line. They're all the way down to minus 245 at this point. So lines have been moving towards the Lakers. So this is a market, right? If sharp bettors believe, no, the Lakers are a higher win probability, right? Minus 200 means 2-1 betting favorite. So if sharp bettors are like, no, the Lakers should be 80% to win, they're going to hammer this line at minus 200 and the line will move. So you can look at a line movement chart right here. So what you're going to see is AD's points line has been becoming more favored, his over. So you can just click on an odd to see the line movement chart. So here's FanDuel. They opened Davis, his over 24.5 points at minus 113. It moved around a bit, then it went up to minus 104, and now it's all the way down at minus 130, right? So why is AD's points line, why is he becoming more favored? The market has moved from minus 113 to minus 130. Why is he becoming more favored to go over 24.5 points? And the truth is, we don't really have an answer, right? Maybe it's lineup changes. Lines are always moving. Just like the price of a stock is always ticking around, good economic news comes out, the stock goes up a bit. They miss earnings, the company's not making as much money, the stock will go down. The market is always adjusting to new information. So as lineups come out in sports betting, right, as sharp action comes in, so if a bunch of sharp bettors are like, whoa, we think AD's points line should be at 25.5, they're going to hammer the over at 24.5, right? The line at 24.5 if they believe the line should be higher. And then the line will move, right? So lines can move for any reason. But long story short, what you're going to see is the average price on AD's over. Every sportsbook is a data point, and they're all saying the same thing. You can look at Bet Online. They've ripped AD's line from minus 112 on his over 24.5 points down to minus 143. So clearly an unbalanced amount of action. All of the action is saying AD Davis is more likely to go over as opposed to under. So what we can do is we need to figure out the win probability for this bet. So in the same way that if the Lakers were minus 200, they're 2-1 favorite, 66.67% to win, you're going to see Pinnacle, right? They have AD's over as a slight favorite. It's not like it's minus 200 to win. It's minus 128 and the under is minus 103. So according to Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world is right here, Pinnacle Sportsbook. This play is 52.53% to win. So we have the first thing we need, 52.53% to win. AD over 24.5 points, and we're just using real-time market data, which is all that matters. Some people will be like, oh, you didn't talk about historical data. It doesn't matter. It's baked into the market. If AD had 10 points last game, if he had 50 points last game, that's priced into the market, any public information. If Jokic is out or Murray's out, whatever, it's always reflected in the market. So long story short, the first play I'm going with, AD's over, is slightly favored on Pinnacle. Pinnacle is known to be the sharpest bookmaker out there, so we're just using them as a point of reference. And this plays 52.53% to win according to Pinnacle. Right? You're going to see Bet Online, which is another sharp sports book. They actually have AD's over a bit more favored. They have it at minus 143 and the under at plus 110. So according to Bet Online, right, they're more bullish on AD's over 24.5 points, right? Because they have it more favored, right? So Bet Online's model is pricing a higher win probability for AD over 24.5 points compared to Pinnacle, which should make sense because they have the over more favored. So according to Bet Online, it's 55.27%. But regardless, in this video, we'll just use Pinnacle. We'll be a bit more conservative. So that's the first play that I went with. Then the second play is an early bet for Game 4 of Heat, or Game 3 of Heat versus Celtics. Can the Celtics do anything? And once again, another line discrepancy, right? No other book is offering better than minus 118. Everyone has the Heat favored on the plus 4 point spread. Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker out there, they have their market minus 118, right? Plus 106. So according to Pinnacle, this bet is winning 52.72% of the time. DraftKings is more bullish, right? So they think the Heat plus 4 has a higher win probability. According to their model, all the bets they're taking in the market, right? What's crazy about sports betting is we don't just have one data point, Pinnacle, on where the line should be set. We have dozens of data points on where the line should be set. But anyways, now I have the win probability for both of my bets. Heat plus 4, Davis over 24.5. Both of them are profitable, positive EV bets from OddsJam, where we're getting good value relative to the rest of the market. And value is all that matters. Some people are like, value doesn't matter in sports betting. What does an investor look for? What does a day trader look for? They're hunting through the market, looking for mispriced assets, trying to find an edge. It's no different in sports betting, except all books set lines independently. So you're hunting through the market, you're looking for discrepancies in the odds. And here's another clear one. Every sports book has the Heat +4 favored. Fliff just has a -110, -110. So now I have the win probability for both of my bets. So the win probability for my parlay, and this is where it gets a little mathematical. So take a look at the spreadsheet. You can reach out with any questions. But the win probability for my parlay is you just multiply these win probabilities together, right? The probability that my parlay wins, AD goes over, and the Heat +4 cashes, you just multiply those win probabilities together, right? And you're going to see it's 27.69%. So then I'll switch over to Twitter where, I actually gave out my bet slip, and you're going to see right here, I'm putting, in these videos, I'm just showing you, how I'm finding an edge, what I'm putting my own money on, and I bet this for $250 to win a total payout of 911.15. So $250 I'm betting at +264 odds. So I'm betting 250 to win actually 660-ish in profit, but regardless, you get the point. So then what you can do is you can back out the profit margin of your parlay, and you're going to see, according to Pinnacle, the profit margin is positive. It's not super positive, but it's still positive. So this is a profitable parlay, right? And you may be like, wow, that's kind of low profit margin, 0.81%. But again, Pinnacle is just one data point. DraftKings, Betfair, XBet, they're all more bullish on the Heat +4. And it's kind of similar to AD's over, right? BetOnline has the over more favored than Pinnacle. Or it actually looks like Pinnacle just moved, right? You can see they just jumped from -114 down to -145 after -128. So action is still coming in on AD's over. So now the market has moved, right? It's adjusting. So now we can see, according to Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker out there, now they're more in line with BetOnline, another sharp sports book. So who knows, right? Pinnacle's clearly taking more action on AD's over as opposed to under. This is a market, right? Price goes up in a stock, it's due to supply and demand. It's no different in sports betting. You can't always pinpoint, but the truth is the market's always right, right? That's why nobody can beat the stock market. Tell me anyone you know who's been able to make money long-term as a day trader. It doesn't happen. Nobody can beat the market, right? It's almost impossible, right? There's probably less than 1,000 people who are doing it. So long story short, what we ended up going with is, so now this win probability increases a bit if we want to put in the new line on Pinnacle Sportsbook. Now they have ADs over more favored. So then the profit margin of our parlay goes up, 6.33%. Again, because lines moved from -128 to -145. So now the market is saying, hey, AD is more likely to go over as opposed to under than we thought before, based on new information, new bets, lineup changes, whatever that is. So this is a profitable parlay I went with. All of my $32,000 in parlay profit this year is just from finding plays on the positive EV tool, finding an edge, right? Nothing complicated going on here. So feel free to reach out with any questions. I'll include the spreadsheet, the presentation in the description. Let's make money.